everyone, I'm Jodi and welcome to my channel. I'm really glad that you're here. If this is your first time stopping by one of my videos, I just wanted to let you know that this channel is all about helping busy and ambitious women and moms keep their busy lives moving forward on a fast track, but while they're getting pieces of information that are useful, quick, helpful, reliable on products, techniques, tools, so that you can keep yourself looking and feeling your very best while you're keeping all of your busy life together. Today's video is all about what mistakes are we possibly making that are aging our appearance from a makeup perspective. There's also some hair ideas in here as well as a couple skincare. So if that is the type of video that you are interested in, which is avoiding makeup mistakes that are adding to your age versus detracting from your age, then this video is for you. So stick around and we're gonna get right to it. So the first one is an easy one to avoid if this applies to you, and that is over hairspraying our hair. That stiff look of your hair is a telltale sign for a generation that is a little bit older. In Generation Z, X, Y, millennials, it's all about more that fresh hair that is free flowing and has movement to it. If your hair doesn't have the movement because you're overspraying it, then maybe try to figure out how to blow dry your hair or let your hair dry natural in a way that doesn't require hairspray. If you do need to use hairspray, then you want to try just a light one. I love this L'Oreal satin. I have the extra strength hold. It's not that strong for me anyway, but I also use it sparingly. So I will spray it on my hands and then I'll just put it where I need it instead of all over. Hairspray is extremely drying because it has a high percentage of alcohol in it. Most of them do. So that high percentage of alcohol is extremely drying on your hair, on your hands. So I wash my hands immediately after I put hairspray on wherever I need it. So think about how much hairspray, if any, are you using? Is it really necessary? And could you spend a little bit more time with your styling tools to get the look that you're after without having to use hairspray? The next thought is all about your foundation and sort of the way that your skin looks with the foundation, and understanding, do you want to use foundation to have more of that natural look, or are you using foundation to hide imperfections? Either of those is the right answer for you. Then what you want to determine is which application you want. So we're also going to talk about things like primers and powders in addition to moisturizers. So I highly recommend that you go through this exercise with me. And that's just to take out a piece of paper, draw a smiley face, and spend a few minutes looking at that saying, okay, my forehead is dry, but right around my nose tends to be a little oily. And just put the word oil right in those areas. If you're more dry on your cheeks, for example, then just write dry right there and go through all those areas of your face and identify where your patches of skin are acting, if they're acting dry, oily, combination. And then also look at, is there areas that you are trying to highlight or emphasize or make larger? And are there areas that you are trying to make and appear smaller? Now, this drawing of yourself will be helpful as we go through this video because you'll apply primers in different areas. You'll apply powders in different areas. And you'll apply setting spray perhaps in some different areas. So it would be ill-advised and irresponsible for me to say, these are the mistakes that you're making if it isn't customized to your skin. So your sheet that you've just created, your worksheet, if you will, is going to help you apply each of these products and steps to the skin that you have. So let's get started. If you're looking to have a natural glow or hide imperfections, either is right, but you're gonna wanna add primer to any areas that are more prone to being oily on your skin. So for me, for example, I tend to be oily right around my nose area and a little bit on my forehead and sometimes on my chin. I also have enlarged pores in my chin area and on each side of my nose. So I will look for a primer that really does sort of push into those areas and minimize my pores. In terms of foundation, I like a more full coverage foundation, but I also know that I don't want to apply a full coverage where there are wrinkles. So I will take a full coverage foundation and then I will cut it with this daily moisturizer. Assuming you already have your sunscreen on and you already have your layer of moisturizer on. Those are always sort of the basics. I would always, if you want to have that full coverage look to hide imperfections, but you don't want that cakey look, I would absolutely cut your foundation. So just a little dab of this and about equal parts of your favorite foundation. I don't happen to have one on my desk. And rub those, obviously, mix them and put them on your face. Now, if you're looking to just have a natural look to your skin, then a tinted moisturizer is probably your best bet. And then you could put in something like the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter that adds just a nice little glow to your skin. And then that kind of gives your tinted moisturizer a little bit of a glow. Now you can put this in your foundation or your tinted moisturizer as you mix it before you apply it, or you can put it on before or after. I like to just mix it in with my foundation or my tinted moisturizer just so that I have that nice healthy glow, which is also one of the beauty trends for 2022 in your skin already. So I really do love the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter. In terms of choosing the formulation for your foundation, you want to make sure that you're looking for creams or liquids instead of a powder foundation, because powders just absolutely tend to look more drying and fall into lines and wrinkles. So if you have lines and wrinkles, really try to avoid that powder foundation. But you do want to set your foundation with a light powder if you wear glasses. So if you saw the video that I did on wearing glasses, and I'll link it up above in case you didn't, but always avoid powders if you can on more mature skin, with the exception of glasses. If you have glasses, you definitely want to put powder right where those glasses are touching your skin. So you don't want to powder everywhere, but just maybe along the bridge of your nose and underneath your eyes and up towards your eyebrows if in fact your glasses touch there. That helps your glasses from sliding and slipping, and also for your foundation to sort of stay put where you want it to stay put. Next, you want to take a look at your setting spray or your powder. If you're trying to keep your makeup in place with a powder, whether it's a loose powder or a pressed powder, the more we age, the less powder you want to wear. Now, if you have really oily skin, again, identify on your face chart where your skin is oily and apply the powder to just those oily areas, but not over the whole face. And just a small thing of powder with a really small brush, you know, depending on how big your oily spaces are, then you're just gonna wanna put a little bit of powder just in those areas. By and large, try to avoid any type of powder. Instead, you set your makeup with a setting spray, a non-alcohol setting spray. I like this Dewy Coconut Setting Mist from e.l.f. I've talked about this one before. It's just definitely my favorite. It's a staple. And I love it because it has a really good smell of coconuts, but it works. And that's really one of the reasons that I love it so much. And the first ingredient is absolutely not alcohol. That helps with my drying skin. The next thing you wanna do is take a look at that face chart again and say, is there areas of my face that has lost collagen and sort of lost that plumpiness, but my skin is still there? So it's pulling down a little bit. And where are you seeing some of those indentions? So for example, for me, my temples have lost some of their collagen, so some of that fullness that comes right in your temples. So if you use a bronzer, a big mistake people are making is they're using that bronzer and they're going up here and going down the hairline on the side. Well, what that's doing is causing even more shadow to this indention that's already there. Instead, an alternative, if you have that as well, and you'll know it from looking sort of at that face that you just drew, is I will take my concealer, whatever concealer I put under my eyes, I'll take that same concealer and put a few dots right on the side of my temples. The key to that is to ensure that your concealer is lighter than your normal foundation or your tinted moisturizer, because then what that does is it helps give light to that area. I should have just done one side so you could see the difference that it makes. But it sort of pulls that area forward or makes it appear larger, just like we know if we wear white pants, doesn't look as good as black pants sometimes because it just makes things look larger. Same concept. We want the lighter to make things appear larger, which is why we'll put that right on the side of our temple. So it just helps that area appear a little bit larger versus bronzing. Along those same lines, you guys, is blush. Now, blush for 2022 is really fun. It's some bright, bold colors. It's a really blush look where I tend to go a little bit more on the current, less trendy, but have a nice, pretty blush look, but really avoid the apples of your cheek, putting that blush right where you smile, because as I've said in videos before, when you smile, your whole face lifts up. So if you put that blush, especially powder, on those cheeks, when you're not smiling, your blush is really sitting down here. Also, that apple of the cheek look is a look of youth. And so if you are older and you're trying to put your blush on like you want it to look on a youthful child, it's just not gonna look right. Instead, I would absolutely opt for getting rid of your powder blush and going for a cream blush. That would be the kind of step number one. And then where you apply that cream blush is really important. Now I've talked about this before and I've done some research and I've really enjoyed learning about this company. It's Kiko Milano. They're from Italy. They were founded in 1997 and it's cruelty-free makeup, which I'm all about. And they have beautiful colors. This is color 1, but I'll link it below because it actually does have a name. I think it's in my staples in the description box below. But they have a full line of makeup products and they're all about having high quality ingredients in their makeup products at an affordable price. Their belief as a brand is that every woman should be able to feel and look their most beautiful without sacrificing their budget. So I love that philosophy, and they're cruelty free. And I get a lot of their stuff on Amazon because you can get it so fast, but it's quality. In fact, this has replaced my Clé de Peau cream blush. So where you put your cream blush is as important as the color that you get. And the color you just want to be the same tones as your eyeshadow and your lipstick. So if you're going cool tones that day, just keep your blush a little bit more on the cool tones. If you're going warm tones with your eyes and your lips, then go for more of a warm tone, or play it safe and go with neutral. But then the placement again is important. I like to always place my blush right on the center of my eye, not the apples of my cheek, but I try to stay in the center where my pupil is, from that placement and then kind of upward like that, and then I will blend it in. Now I will normally draw it on so that I know where it's going, and then I'll take a dampened beauty sponge and just press it in so that I just get a little bit of a sort of a hint of a workout or a hint of a really, hot day, but just a little bit of a blush without looking like I've applied a ton of makeup. That's a really important one and an easy one for women to adapt to, is just a cream blush, easier application. Now because it's cream, again, don't try to set that with a powder, or else you might as well have just used a powder blush. But let it set for a second, get the rest of your makeup on, and then apply everything with a really light mist of a setting spray. And so now that you have these tips and tricks, go back to that sort of smiley face drawing that we started with to say, all right, I know where I want to add primer, I know where I want to add some powder, or I don't want to add powder, and then sort of use that as your template for the next couple of days as you start to do your makeup, until you get into that routine of not applying powder everywhere, not applying primer in areas that you don't need it, that just adds that extra layer. And then you'll be able to really customize your makeup look for the needs that you have. Now we're going to stick with the eyes for a few tips. The next one is all about the mascara. Now we've talked about this before, and that is when you put mascara on your upper lashes after you've used a lash curler, it really helps open up your eyes. But when you put that mascara on the bottom part of your lashes, it makes them look heavy and weighed down. So if you are trying to minimize the appearance of aging and not try to look 20, but trying to minimize makeup that makes you look older, then I would highly suggest that you just put your mascara on your upper lashes and not on your bottom lashes. Now, if you wear glasses, then you can put a light coat on those bottom lashes, but I wouldn't cover, if you have longer lashes on the bottom, I wouldn't cover that whole lash. I would just get into sort of that root so that you give some dimension to your eye, but you don't want these long lines coming down the bottom of your face, because what that does is this just gives this visual up and down look to your eyes. So, and that's an easy one. Plus you use half the mascara, so your mascara lasts you twice as long. The next one is where you put your highlighter or your lighter color of your eyeshadow. A new trend for 2022 is all about glitter. I'm gonna be more on the sparkly, glowy type side of my eyeshadow. And wherever you put your eyeshadow above your eyelid is great. Where you want to avoid at all costs, if you're trying to not look older, is do not put a highlighter or a shimmer or a glitter of any sort just below your brow bone. Leave this area if you're going to highlight it for just a highlighter pencil or a matte cream color, skin color, foundation color shadow, so that it just looks like skin, but maybe matte, not even on the shiny side underneath your eye. Even if you're not wearing much eyeshadow, you just don't want that to be shiny really at all, because that just gives that look of having it highlighted, and then your brow bones are sort of highlighted, so they're coming out farther, and it's just a look that won't be cohesive with the rest of your makeup. The last one is, this was a hard one for me, I don't know, maybe a decade ago, but now I can't even imagine doing it. And so if you are doing it, try not to do it. And that is underlining your waterline with a black or a brown. Because if you're using browns, some browns can tend to have a reddish tone to them. That reddish tone will then appear as though your eyes are more bloodshot, more tired. So if you're putting brown or black under your eyes, make sure that it's not warm tones, reddish orangish tones, and then put real lightly. But try to stop putting eyeliner in your waterline on the bottom. You guys can see this, you've probably seen this a million times. It just ages your eye so much and just makes it look, it's not even aging the eye as much as it's just such a dated look that you wouldn't walk around with an 8-track tape anymore in your car. So it's kind of the same thing. I think in my own head that was a good analogy. I don't know if it is or not, but you know what I mean? Here's kind of what was done before, right? We would take this and we would just water inside the waterline. It does make your eyes appear smaller, so you want to avoid that for sure. But instead, if you're like, no, Jodi, I like that contrast of my eye, then I would suggest putting something lighter. Like this is Bare by Smashbox. It's their eyeliners that are self-sharpening, which I love about them. But you could absolutely take something like this and line it on the inside just to give a more awake, bright look. And the reason I like Smashbox is because they are pretty waterproof, so that will last you throughout the day. Now let's just, for point of comparison, put let's go in the waterline. I'm just gonna do it with brown because I think black would scare me as much as it would scare everyone else. So let's just do that. This is such a good comparison. I'm glad we're doing it. Yeah, see the difference in the eyes? It just makes such a big difference. This eye looks more larger and not tired and heavy. This eye looks more tired and heavy to me. Oh my gosh, and just so dated. I gotta get this off. Sorry guys, I would normally not do this on camera, but I can't finish the rest of the video like that. All right, so the last makeup tip that could be making you look older than you are is overlining your lips with a far too dark lip liner. Now, again, a trend for 2022, which I'm embracing and like celebrating, and that is overlined lips. Thank you 1990s for coming back. But if you are trying to use that trend the same way that you would have in 1990, it's gonna look probably the wrong way and have the opposite look than you are going for. However, you can still overline your lips. I would just recommend that you go with a lip liner that is about 2 shades darker than the lip color that you're going for. So as we age, avoiding matte lipstick is critically important, but you could still go with a nice lip liner, and a nice lipstick is a great combination. Subculture by MAC is one of my favorites, lip liner. So that's a nice liner. And then what I would do is just put that, outline my lips, then put the lip liner everywhere, kind of color within the lines. And then I would just take a buxom lip gloss and put over the top of it, so that it's still a nice 90s type look. You've got the 2 different colors, that overlined look, but it's not too dark. Another combination that I really like is this NYX. Now, this is an eyeliner, and I don't know why they would make an eyeliner in this color, but it's called Mauve, and you'll see, it just doesn't look like an eyeliner to me. I mean, it's beautiful, but to me, that's more of a lip color. So I hope the camera's focusing. That's a really pretty color, more in the neutrals, that would go really well with that Kiko that I just talked about, that blush. And then you could use something like another buxom, I think that one was White Russian that I just used, and this one is Sandy. Color in your whole lip and then just put that over the top. And that gives you that nice sort of overlined look without being too aggressive. It's current, but it's not totally trendy. And that should help give sort of that look that you're going for, that's less harsh from that 90s look, but still a really fun trend I'm excited to see. There are a few of the biggest mistakes that I think we make as women when we are putting on our makeup as we age. And I'm all for trying to look our very best, but I've stopped trying to look younger by applying makeup in a younger type technique. I think just enhancing our best version of ourselves is the way to go with products and techniques that don't add extra years to our skin or our look. I hope these are helpful to you. There's some easy mistakes to avoid to just ensure that you look the very best version of yourself. If you like this video, please share it with a friend and help them look their very best as well. Give it a thumbs up and or subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And of course, leave me some comments if there's a tip or a trick that you have been doing that you think helps rewind the hands of time on your look. We'd love to hear about it so we can share it with the rest of the community. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.